Welcome to our True Crimes podcast. I'm Matt, and I'm here with my friends Braden, Justin, and CJ, and we have a shocking tale today. One of betrayal and murder and power struggles. So let's get ready for a true crime story that is as old as time but still relevant for today.
Yeah, Matt, that's right. This is a story about two people that were evil not only just on their own, but then they decided to get married, and that we see the way that develops, that their marriage, they did so much worse. They were marked by scandal and murder and manipulation.
Whoa, a marriage based on murder and manipulation.
Well, it sounds like a pretty typical royal romance to me. These guys had devastating consequences, and I imagine that kind of toxicity in a royal marriage has a potential of causing a lot of havoc with a lot of people.
Yeah, so let's start at the rise of their power together. So our crime lord inherited his territory, but he wasn't exactly cut from the same cloth. He ruled with an iron fist, and he became known as like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, so imagine what that does to the kingdom. There are these warring territories and different neighborhoods up against each other, people fighting for land grabs, and then the king goes and marries a psycho.
She was totally crazy. She was into like black magic, and she was pure evil to her core. And then they got married, and it set them off on this dangerous path as they came together.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this wasn't just a passive wife. She was ambitious and ruthless and driven by all these, her underlying beliefs. The two of them were like a power couple, but in all the wrong ways. It's this deadly combination because of her ambition, which just even more so produced evil than any other crime lord.
Yeah, she was totally not just a figurehead. Like, this is kind of his candy on the side arm or anything. She wasn't content with that at all. She went full throttle and forced her beliefs on others, and she began to hunt down people that were against her.
Well, I mean, by hunt down, you mean like literally chase down and execute people, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and they probably at some point in time turned her husband into just a complete puppet.
Yeah, and then some of the rivals are trying to clean up this neighborhood, and she just keeps trying to take over. It's like turf wars out there.
Yeah, so they're in this turf war, but then they cut off like her water supplies, and they end up having this huge victory, and they took out a major part of the crime lord and the queen's posse.
The crime didn't stop even just there. This crime lord was into more land and more power, and just continued to try to seize land. He was after this one specific prized piece of land, but it really wasn't going well. So this evil queen came up with her own plan. She took things into her own hands, and she decided to have the landowner murdered, and she took the property for this crime lord.
Because I think one of the most shocking parts of this story is how cold and calculated they went about doing this. She ruled with a really, kind of sociopathic disposition towards the people around her. She just wielded this uncontrolled, unreined in bloodlust, and ended up ending in murder and manipulation over and over again.
Yeah, this manipulation makes their rivals so mad because they're fighting for what's right. Their leader curses our crime couple, saying they will die for their crimes and that dogs will drink his blood and eat her.
Oh, seriously, that is crazy.
But that's exactly what happened. They got caught up in the middle of all this, and one day a fight breaks out, and this crime lord is right in the middle of it, and he's actually taken out.
And as they are cleaning his blood out of the vehicle, the dogs come and they drink and the water with his blood. It's just poetic justice for the type of manipulation and crime that this couple has committed.
Well, and the whole blood situation is both figurative and literal. But in this sense, too, she had so much blood on her hands that came back to haunt her in the end. She doesn't herself even die peacefully in her bed. Her own servants rise up against her, and then and they take her, they throw her out a window. She's trampled by horses, eaten by dogs. It's almost as if everything she'd done to everyone else finally caught up and spun back at her direction.
Yeah, that's the kind of ending to a story where it's all you can have to think is you reap what you sow, and all their crimes caught up with them in the most brutal possible ways. So, in the end, this true crime story is one of ambition gone wrong. It's a tale of unchecked power, murder for personal gain, and eventually the downfall of an entire dynasty. And their story serves as a reminder of the dangers of corruption and greed and devastating consequences of a leader who's driven by ego and manipulation. This is the story of Ahab and Jezebel and the prophet Elijah.